Behind closed doors, far from public view, a quiet and unsettling drama is unfolding between Washington and Canada. According to the Financial Times, very senior officials inside the Trump administration have been holding secret meetings with far-right Canadian separatists, figures seeking to fracture the foundations of the Canadian state itself. The covert talks involve the Alberta Prosperity Project, a separatist group from Canada's oil-rich West, and they come at a moment of growing tension between Ottawa and the White House. Just days ago, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, speaking in Davos, accused President Donald Trump of creating a dangerous rupture in the global order, a public rebuke that signaled how far relations have deteriorated. That friction has created fertile ground.
It seems that every day we're reminded that we live in an era of great power rivalry, that the rules-based order is fading, that the strong can do what they can and the weak must suffer what they must. And this aphorism of Thucydides is presented as inevitable, as the natural logic of international relations reasserting itself. And faced with this logic, there is a strong tendency for countries to go along to get along, to accommodate, to avoid trouble, to hope that compliance will buy safety. Well, it won't. Let me be direct. We are in the midst of a rupture, not a transition. Over the past 2 decades, a series of crises in finance, health, energy, and geopolitics have laid bare the risks of extreme global integration. But more recently, great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage, financial infrastructure as coercion, supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited. On Arctic sovereignty, we stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future. Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. So we're working with our NATO allies, including the Nordic-Baltic Gate, to further secure the alliance's northern and western flanks, including through Canada's unprecedented investments in over-the-horizon radar, in submarines, in aircraft, and boots on the ground, boots on the ice. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic. Argue the middle powers must act together because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu. But I'd also say that great powers can afford for now to go it alone. They have the market size, the military capacity, and the leverage to dictate terms. Middle powers do not. But when we only negotiate bilaterally with a hegemon, we negotiate from weakness. We accept what's offered. We compete with each other to be the most accommodating. This is not sovereignty. It's the performance of sovereignty while accepting subordination.
Sources told the Financial Times that representatives of the Alberta Prosperity Project have met 3 times in the last 9 months with U.S. State Department officials in Washington, D.C. Their legal counsel, Jeff Rath, claims the meetings went far beyond routine diplomacy. "We're meeting very senior people," Rath said, leaving our meetings to go directly to the Oval Office. The group now wants another meeting in February, where it plans to request a staggering $500 billion U.S. credit facility intended to prop up Alberta financially if an independence referendum succeeds. No referendum has yet been called. U.S. officials insist there are no commitments. The State Department acknowledged the meetings but said no promises were made. The White House flatly denied offering support, and sources close to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent say his department has no knowledge of and no intention to entertain any credit request. But the signals haven't gone unnoticed. Bessent himself recently fueled speculation during an interview with a right-wing news outlet, praising Alberta as a natural partner for the United States and openly musing about rumors of a referendum. His comments followed complaints that Alberta's vast natural resources are being trapped inside Canada without access to Pacific pipelines. Earlier this month, Trump amplified the unease by sharing an AI-generated image showing Canada draped in an American flag alongside Greenland and Venezuela. Canadian analysts warn the strategy is deliberate. Polling tells a different story than rhetoric. An Ipsos survey found 7 in 10 Albertans want to remain part of Canada. Even Alberta's Conservative premier has said the vast majority reject becoming a U.S. state. Labor leaders are more blunt. "This doesn't feel organic," said Gil McGowan of the Alberta Federation of Labor. "This feels like foreign interference." And history looms large. Canada's Supreme Court has ruled that no province can unilaterally secede. Any breakaway would require constitutional negotiations under the Clarity Act, not shadow diplomacy. As secret meetings, fiery rhetoric, and geopolitical ambition collide, Canada now faces a chilling question. Is this merely political theater, or the opening act of something far more destabilizing?